Hi, welcome to my channel, Reader Woman. My name's Judy, and let's talk book tales. I was wondering what next video to make, and I've just read a couple of mysteries and I was like not too interested in reviewing them, particularly since they're old. And I thought, we've got a lot of books. Some of them have stories to them. So I thought about creating the book tales. And the first one I'm going to start with is the Scariest book that I have on the shelf. And you may wonder what book that might be. A Stephen King, some horror master you know nothing about? I say no. The scariest book on my shelf is Thomas Mann's Dr. Faustus. And I'm not talking about my concern for my immortal soul or being approached by the devil. I am talking about how it came into my possession. I don't remember if I was in high school or college. And as I've discovered as an adult, I went to college extremely close to my home. I was I was raised in Ontario, California, in the Inland Empire, in a we were lower middle class, is how I would put it. And so we had bookstores, but they weren't great bookstores. In the mall, in the Montclair Mall, which was the big deal when I was young, they had Pickwick bookstore. And that was probably the best and most complete bookstore that I had access to. We had some used bookstores, and one was just kind of like like Harlequin romances on all the shelves and in this room. It was odd, and it's like, I buy a few. They're really cheap, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for all the time. And then there was another one, which was kind of a newsstand and used book, new book kind of place. It was kind of an odd mix of things. And I spent quite a bit of time in there and money. But we didn't have a great used bookstore. I mean, not like I do today. I feel very grateful living where I do in the Pacific Northwest, in a medium-sized town of Bellingham, where we have, some nice choices. And plus you have the internet. Well, we didn't have that back then. And yeah, this was way long ago. And so somehow for a class, I have a feeling it was more for college than high school, but I needed to get a copy of Thomas Mann's Dr. Faustus. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she had what she thought was a brilliant idea. And we were going to go to this used bookstore that she had seen on her travels. Neither one of us had ever been there. And so I agreed. And the one thing you have to understand about my town, Ontario, is, well, actually it's two ways. Euclid Avenue, which is this beautiful avenue. You have at least two lanes of traffic going each way, with this beautiful median in between, which has this beautiful grass and trees. And at Christmas time, they put up these life-size creches and that you can walk. And I can remember caroling with friends and stuff like that during the holidays. And it leads all the way up into the mountains, up to Mount Baldy. So that's going north and south. No. Yeah. And then there's a train track that bisects. And so when you cross the train track, things get a little sketchy. So I was a little bit concerned when my mom crossed the train tracks, because I'm going, what are we going to get into? And then we drive for a while. And at that time, you had, unlike today, where it's just full of housing, back then you had like little farmhouses and various things like that. And so we pull in to this, it had a small house and this big red barn that had a huge sign, something that said something to the effect of books for sale or something like that. So we get there and, you know, you would think that the barn doors would be open and there'd be somebody behind the counter and, oh, welcome us. Come in, come in. Can we help you find what you need? Instead, it's closed up and this scary looking guy finally comes out of the house. I mean, it's not instantaneous at all. And he comes over to the car and he's like, what do you want? So I'm like quaking in my boots and my mom's like, we're looking for a book. And guy looks at us like, well, what are you looking for? So I tell him what I'm looking for, Dr. Faustus by Thomas Mann. And he looks at us and then he's just like, So he agrees to go in to the barn. So we get out of the car and follow him. But in no way were we ever allowed to browse. And he opens it up and this barn is full of books, full of books. And so he rummages around, but like I said, we were not allowed to look. He was going to find it for us. And then it was just like, he didn't want to sell it to us once he found it. No, you know, it's like he didn't really want to sell it to us. And I found the thing here, you can barely see it, this old school something in Montclair, California. So I bought it for, oh, you can't see it at all. There we go, $2.25. And I'll tell you, it was the most uncomfortable book transaction I ever had. I was grateful that my mom and I got out of there with our lives because I felt like if you wanted to really buy a book from this guy, he might kill you because he didn't want to get rid of his books. So this is why I consider this the scariest book on my shelf. I will never forget that experience. Anyways, hope you're having a great reading night and I will talk again soon. Bye.